All right. So, all right, let's keep it going. So we have Andrew and Dennis. Dennis?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
All right,
Good
Dennis.
afternoon.
So I was just asking Lindsay now, do you have the downloads yet?
On the QuickBooks,
Do you have QuickBooks yet set up?
I just got the book and I haven't done the download yet. I had a different version, which I had to uninstall. So I've not
I don't
installed.
understand.
I didn't install the 2019. I had 2020 on my PC from another class.
Okay.
So I uninstalled that. I've not installed the 2019 yet.
So wait a minute, you took another class with 2020?
We used it briefly, yes.
So why do you need this class?
Because we only touched on the QuickBooks, and it's the final class I need for a certificate in accounting.
Oh, okay. It wasn't you didn't go very deep on with that.
No, barely at all.
All right. Okay, so when you plan to do this? This course, as you guys know, is a short, very short course, 7 weeks. And so we need to start the work right away, like today.
Well, that's the plan. Again, for me, the book just arrived today. It was supposed to arrive tonight. It arrived today. I have the book.
Okay, great. So how about the downloads? When do you plan to do that?
Well,
To set up the
after this call.
All right. Could you do it during this call? Because one of the reasons why we have this meeting, I mean, there's not going to be any Zoom meetings, is to, if folks need to set stuff up, we just do it together, and make good use of this time. You know what I mean?
I do.
So I believe that you have the emails and have all the information. All right, Andrew. I guess is it Andrew here? Joseph.
Yeah. Yes, Andrew.
All right, Andrew. So tell us, do you have the welcome? So do you have the downloads yet?
Yes.
I see you're all the way in Utah, right?
I'm sorry?
You're all the way in Utah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm on the south. I'm on the South Shore.
Oh, so I guess that's Joseph.
His mic is muted, I guess.
Joseph, can you unmute yourself? All right, Andrew. Yeah, let's go with you. We'll go back to Joseph.
Okay.
So, have you been able to install it?
So I installed QuickBooks onto my HP laptop, and I downloaded the files.
Oh, so you're all set up, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I tried to open one of the files, but when I...
Okay, great. Could you share your screen so that we can just kind of walk through, and just see what you can see and, help everyone out here.
Okay.
Do you see the share? Okay, great. You got it. Okay. All right, Andrew. What is this? What is this download here? What is this
Right
particular
here.
download you download?
So I have the QuickBooks program right here, and then this is
what QuickBooks program is this? This is not the 2020. This is not the 2019 desktop, is it?
This is not a 2019 desktop? No.
All right, so where did you get this from? And why do you have this one?
I have this program because QuickBooks, this is the one that was provided in Canvas. There was a link to download.
In Canvas?
Yeah, to download this version along with.
Could you go to open up Canvas, please?
That's correct. That's the same one that I saw as well.
Let's go to Canvas.
That's what I got when I tried going through Canvas, by the way, to access denied.
Yeah, let's just see how you got there.
Well, I went to the welcome. And,
All right.
right here, it says software QuickBooks Desktop 2019.
All right. Then it says go to modules.
Getting started with QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And then right here, QuickBooks student registration for free QuickBooks license.
All right.
There's a video here.
Up there, just up there in the directions. No, if you go up a little bit. Yeah. So did you select? When you did the registration, did you go to QuickBooks Desktop version, select 2019?
Yes.
Okay. So, all right. So walk me through. Just click on that link again. Walk me through. Yeah. How you did that. Yeah, because you see that picture to your right, top right?
Yep.
Right there, that's what it's supposed to look like. So let's keep going. So you fill out this information here,
Yep.
and when you did the drop down,
I selected 2019,
all right,
and then I verified and continued.
all right. Okay, so let's go back to what you just put the software you opened up. So they sent you a link, and this is what they sent to you.
Yep. So here I have the QuickBook files that it required us to download.
Yeah, the files are correct.
Then
I'm sorry, where did you find that?
I was in Canvas. So if you go back.
It's just under the files itself?
Yeah, so if you look here in Canvas, it says QuickBooks Starter Files. That will bring you to, I think you had to do it through the McGraw-Hill link. The other link didn't work. So then you just download all of the files right here.
Wait a second.
Said chapters 1 through 17, but it looks like it goes 1 through 10, and then skips to 15, skips to 17.
When I try accessing that, it says access denied. You don't have access to this resource.
Click the link below, the McGraw-Hill one. That's just below that on the same page.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Thank you.
So if I open up the desktop icon.
All right. Yeah, just give it a second when you click it.
Okay.
Okay. I think I see what happened here. I think you were on the kind of like intro pages, because it looked strange to me when you said that was it. I was like, That's definitely not the what you're right. This is what it is.
Yeah, so
I think you hadn't actually clicked on it, right?
I clicked on something else. So this is the desktop icon. This is what opens up. It brings you to this page.
Yeah. This is what you should have. So we can set it up from here, but just wait a second. Yeah, this is what you should have, because I was a little bit worried. Lindsay, you said this was the same thing you have, right?
Yes, it's the same thing I was trying to download on the Parallels on my Mac, but that, like I said before, that's not working because Parallels was making Mac crash.
All right. Okay. So yeah, it looks like you have the right file and the right installation. Okay. Let me just confirm. Dennis, can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
All right. So did you do the registration and walk through the whole process?
As
To get
I
a
told you
license?
before, no, I have not. I'll do it after this Zoom session.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was mixing you. I thought I was mixing you up with some other student who was talking. All right, get it. All right. Let's see. So, because pardon me?
Oh, I think you're talking about me. I was saying I couldn't connect to the mic. Joseph,
oh, okay. Is that Joseph?
Yep. I had to connect with my phone. Sorry to interrupt.
It's all right. So, Joseph, what was the situation? Do you have the QuickBooks?
Oh, I have it now. I wasn't able to get the file, so I'm able to get it now. The other guy showed me. Thank you to whoever showed me that. I have.
That's Andrew.
Everything.
Yep, no problem.
Thank you, Andrew.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So before we come back here, Andrew, let's just walk through a couple more things before we come back to the QuickBooks. So you can just minimize this, or just close it. Actually, yeah. All right. Yeah, you can just minimize. All right. So let's go back to Canvas. Just walk you guys through, what this course is and a few things you might. Let's just go to the syllabus, I think, straight away. All right. So there are about 17 of you that should be in this. Let me just verify that 1 second. Yeah, okay, the 19 of you that should be here. Right now, there's just four of you. So we'll record this and people can watch it when we're done. All right, Andrew, did you find the syllabus? Okay. All right, so my name is Professor Banjo. Banjo, just like the musical instrument. So if you've ever come across that guitar-looking like instrument, that's not a guitar, right? Banjo is my last name. So I prefer to be called Professor Banjo or Mr. Banjo. All right. My phone number, that's my cell. Every once in a while, you might get into some kind of issue. You need to get to me quickly. Well, you can use my cell, text me. If you want to talk later, we can arrange that. I'm open and very available to talk and to meet at any time. Just, let me know. That's my email. So the textbook that's the textbook right there. Andrew, could you just highlight the textbook and let's see what it looks like? Let's just do a Google search. No, just the book title itself. All right, just do a Google search so we see what it looks like. Okay, so you can click there. All right, so that's the book, 2019. We're absolutely going to use this book along with, because it's like a QuickBooks handbook, right? Extremely useful. Could you go back up to the picture? So make sure it says Computer Accounting with QuickBooks 2019. Donna Kay is the author of the book. It's the 19th edition, right? Now, 2019, they've had a couple more editions after that, but it's basically the same 2019. So, QuickBooks is going to tell you that the 2020 is all 2019, right? So I guess they just change, the numbers, but the content is the same. So we're just going to stay with this because everything just goes back to 2019. All right. So that's the book there. We absolutely need it because some people ask me, do we need the book? Yes, we need the book. All right. Let's go back to the syllabus. Did you get it at the bookstore, Andrew?
I'm planning to, because they give you the hard copy of the book along with do you need the Connect code, or do you just need the textbook with the software download from Canvas?
Say it again.
Do you have to buy the book brand new that includes the McGraw-Hill Connect access
No, I don't.
Or can you buy the?
No, I mean there's nothing else to access. I mean, the most important things to access are those files that you found, and those files are given out for free.
Okay. So
I mean, anyhow you get the book, I think you'll be fine.
Okay. So the ebook, it sounds acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, if you're fine with reading off of the computer, that might be convenient, and you can probably get it faster. Like you can get it within seconds, right?
Yes, of course.
You don't have to wait for it to be shipped or something. So, okay. So the course description is right there. It's all about QuickBooks and trying to familiarize ourselves with, should I say, technology and using QuickBooks, for accounting and, bookkeeping and, payroll and everything you do with QuickBooks. Andrew, can I ask you why are you taking this course? Is this to fulfill your certificate or just for personal growth?
So I'm taking this course as an elective course for personal growth. I'm an accounting major, and this is my last semester here at Quincy College.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a long time coming, but I'm also going to be completing my 90th credit as well. So this will fulfill my graduation requirements for the Associate of Science in Accounting. However, it will also give me 90 credits to transfer to Curry College to complete the Bachelor of Science in Accounting through their continuing education or continuing program. But
fantastic.
A critical course to have and to take for a profession in the field of accounting.
Absolutely. Dennis, you want to share with us, why you're taking this course?
As I stated earlier, it's the last course I need for a certificate in accounting from Quincy College. I've been going for the last year plus, and it came down to one last class. I canceled the other two I needed.
Okay, great. Lindsay, you want to tell us why you're taking the course?
I'm taking it for the accounting certificate as well.
Okay. I think you said you run a couple of businesses, right? So does does it come handy, useful on the job?
I do help my husband run his trucking company, and I do all the books for him. But within that being a husband, there is no paycheck. So I'm looking to advance my
Oh, really?
in the accounting
I'm
field with
surprised.
the certificate.
We need to talk to him about that, right?
I know.
No paycheck.
Right.
After the last year we've had, that would be tough.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, you got to make ends meet.
Yeah. Okay, Joseph.
Yep. So I'm taking this because I'm filling the requirement for the CPA exam. I got past all the exams now. I just need a couple more courses, some related to accounting, some not. So I picked one that I use QuickBooks a lot. I just wanted to see if I can learn anything that I don't really cover on a day-to-day basis at my job.
Oh, so you use QuickBooks on the job, did you say? Sure, you use QuickBooks on the job?
Yep, I'm currently a staff accountant.
Oh,
so I
so
use
this should be like,
I use it a fair amount.
this is like an easy A for you, right?
Hopefully, but I like to learn something too. There's 1,000 things in QuickBooks that you don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very comprehensive program.
It is.
So
okay, we had
part of
somebody else kind of pop in, and I think they left. All right, it's just back to us four. Joseph, go ahead. You were saying something.
I was just saying, so partly it's to meet the credit requirement. Part of it's to learn the QuickBooks. Just see if I can learn anything that I didn't know before.
Okay. So this course is it's an online course. So like we said, there's no lecture requirements and stuff. So I just want to know if you've taken online courses before, Joseph, and if you're familiar with the format of an online course, like all the requirements of an online course.
Yeah, I guess to some extent. I've taken all my courses in Quincy so far have been online.
Oh, okay.
It's been a little different.
Yeah. All right. Andrew, could we scroll down this syllabus? Yeah, let's just go to the grading policy right there. Yeah, or just right there. Scroll down a little bit more. Yeah, right there. So the grading policy to earn your full 100% of the course and get an A. So there are three components of the course. So your participation in the course is like 40% of the final grade, and that involves everyone in the class participating on the discussion board. That is vital to every online course. An online course is not self-directed learning where you do the work. Of course, you do the work on your own, on your own time. You don't go to classes, but it is not without rules, so to speak, right? There's a structure to it, and it's supposed to be a community of learners, between students and the instructor, and between students engaging on the discussion board on a weekly basis, right? So we're going to when we go back to Canvas, I'm going to show you that component, but it's very easy. No, could you just, let's stay here. So it's very easy, right, for you to, like the next 40% there, that's for assignments. So sometimes some students make the mistake of focusing on just assignments and not the participation. And they're like, I'm not passing this course? What's happening? My assignments are great. Well, there are a couple of components you got to be aware of every week. I've got to do my assignment. I've got to be participating in the course. All right, so I'm going to walk us through how we do that. And then the last 20% is based on the final exam. All right? All right, lateness. If we keep scrolling down, lateness. So now, though there is some flexibility, right, lateness is very much discouraged, right? You want to be sure that you plan out your week, look at the work that's supposed to be done, and plan to, like I said, it's a very short course. It's like a 7-week course. So every day, every week, that goes by, the course is going to round up, before you know it. So you got to, schedule everything with everything you have to do in your life, with your work and your, kids and your school and all the commitments you have. You got to have a valid reason why your work is late, if it is late. Without a valid reason, late work is totally discouraged, and there is really no grade for it. But if you have something going on, you have an emergency, you have, we all have stuff happening in our lives, just let me know about it, and we can, do something about that, right? But generally speaking, you want to be on time, submit the work, move on to the next one, all right? Now, it's an online course, and there is the temptation and the tendency for people to do crazy things, like that bad word that starts with a C called cheating. In fact, just this week, I had a student of mine who submitted an assignment that was completed by somebody else. And this student just put their name on it and said it was mine. I did this work myself. And when we investigated, you didn't do the work yourself. And Joseph, you have any idea what, in those kind of situations, what the school does to a student like that? When you're caught plagiarizing?
They expel you, don't you?
They expel you from the college. They do it, no questions. Well, they investigate and they expel you. It's like the worst thing that can happen to a student, right? And that's why I have my phone number, my email. I'm open to talk. If you're struggling through stuff, let's talk about it. You've got your classmates. Everyone is going to be as helpful as possible. There is no need to do that. The fact that, we're all at home doing our stuff, we should maintain that academic integrity. And when we need help, the school has like tons of tutoring and help, right? So we should take advantage. You guys are not you guys have been in school for a while. So, I'm guessing that you guys are familiar with all those rules and requirements, right? But just need to reiterate them, just go over them here. All right, the other things you have there are just the standard things, maybe at the bottom of the page. Andrew? All the way down. It's going to say all the things we're going to cover all the way down. There should be one last page. Yeah. So now, because of the short nature of this course, so the first week, which is starting today, it's going to be kind of like, should I say easier? Should I say easier or less work? So the assignment you have from today is going to expire its deadline is on Sunday, all right? And it's just going to be just one short assignment. I'm going to show you when we go back to Canvas. But from next week, it's going to be a bit more of a heavy workload every week, right? I'm not going to try to totally kill you guys. I'm mindful that, we've got all kinds of stuff to do besides just this class. But there's a certain number of things we've got to cover, which I'm hoping that we can get through so that you're familiar with this program, as much as possible, right? So, all right, so that's all we have for so let's go back to Canvas and let's walk through, the participation part of the course. All right, so if you click on modules there. All right. Okay, we're going to get to the, all right, so you see that frequently asked questions, all right? So actually, sorry, could you go back? Let's go to the top from the welcome. Yeah. All right, so from the welcome, that's my picture. I think that's my picture. That's my resume. You can read through my resume. I've worked with Quincy College for a while. I've been a, college professor for a very long time. And I love to do this. This is what I do 100% full time. And I'm available to, I have 200 students plus or minus every semester. And, I love to do this. So you want to reach out to me and, get some help. I've got students who, want me to help them with their job. They have a reference. They want to get into a master's degree. I do all that stuff, along with teaching. So it's what I do. All right, let's go down that page. All the way down, and then let's just go to the next page. I think you should see a next button there. All right, so this is Quincy College. If you have any technical difficulty with Canvas, there's a lot of help links there, and I think the support people, you can always contact them. So this page is all about technical support from Quincy College. The kind of browser you need, all the things you need to function in an online environment as far as Canvas is concerned. So feel free to look at this and then reach out to Quincy College Technical Support if you have some specific issues going on with Canvas. All right. All right, let's go all the way down and go to the next page. All right, so this forum here is like a more general forum. If you have like questions, like a quick question you want to help with your classmates, you can just drop a question there, and anyone can answer and respond if they have the answer to the question. Okay, let's go to the next page. Sorry, could you just go back to that question that was asked in that frequently asked question? So this was today, right?
Should I reply to
10:59?
this? Yeah, this morning.
Well, so somebody says, have you posted the time for today's Zoom meeting? Andrew, how many emails did you get about this meeting? I think I sent about 4 or 5 emails.
There was messages in Canvas, and there were at least 2, 3, 4 emails.
So, I don't know. How do you, I don't know, it just surprised me. Dennis, did you know about this meeting, right? Lindsay?
I'm here.
Obviously, right? You guys.
Yeah, I knew about it.
So, this person says, have you posted the time for today's Zoom meeting class? I don't know how to respond to that. Like, hey, we have information everywhere.
How about read your email?
Well, yeah, Andrew, you want to say, read your emails? And it's actually posted on Canvas directly, like on the home page. It's right, the announcements are there. Announcements and emails. All right. All right, that sounds good, Andrew, thanks. All right, excellent. Okay, so let's go to the let's go back to the modules link. Okay, no, this is where we should be at. We should be at the, yeah, getting started. So the getting started, this is what you need. You don't have to buy the license for QuickBooks. Once you go through this, bullet list here, and again, could you click on that link, Andrew, to register, right? You're going to click on that link to register with QuickBooks. And then it brings you here. And when you scroll down, you have to fill out your information, your name, your last name, your school email. And then most important, at the very bottom, you're going to select 2019. 2019 is the version that's most current, actually, right? So that's what we're going to use, 2019. And then when you click verify and continue, they're gonna ask you to, I don't know, Andrew, what did you have to submit? What did they request from you?
You had to populate all of the required fields right here with your name, email. I used my student email. I put my birth date in. I put the name of the college. My particular concentration is accounting. If you're getting an accounting or bookkeeping certificate, select the appropriate field. And then as required, select the 2019 desktop version. When that's been populated, you will verify and continue. You should receive a confirmation email from the college, or from QuickBooks rather, depending on which email you use to register. And
so Andrew, the verify, what kind of documentation did you send over to them? Do you remember?
I think it was just to confirm your email address. Once you populate these fields, you verify and continue, it will bring you to a link where you can download this particular QuickBooks desktop version. And it takes it takes a little while, as do the files in Canvas.
So they didn't ask you for any verification of your student status?
I believe they just the student email was probably the confirmation. I'm sure I'm sure the college has a system for managing the licenses that are issued out to the students for this course.
Okay. All right, great. So once you're done with the installation, then at the bottom there's a kind of like a guide, a YouTube guide you can watch that also walks you through that process. Yeah, we can look at it, but we're not going to look at everything. Yeah, if you hit play there. So it's a short 3-minute video. Walks you through. Yeah, you can just kind of like just go real fast through it. Yeah. So pretty straightforward, and nothing out of the ordinary.
You have to you get an email.
Yeah, go ahead.
You get an email and it gives you your license number and product number, and you populate those here in order to continue on with the download. So this video is extremely helpful if you have any questions.
All right, great. Let's go back, please, to Canvas. All right, so now the files, we have to start the files that we need for every chapter. So the bottom link, the first link doesn't work. So the bottom link is the same. So if you click on the bottom link, yeah, right there, that link will take you to the site where you can just download the files. I think you actually had it open earlier. Yeah, right there. Okay, so it's going to bring you to a page like this. And what you want to do is You want to download all the files, and especially you want to save them on your computer where you can, you got to know where you save them, basically, right? You got to create, like on your desktop, like Andrew has here, you create a folder, and you place all those files, all those zip files, right there. You notice that each of those folders has a zipper. So each of those zip files, could you go back, just go back 1 second. All right. So each of those zip folders, right, we absolutely need everything for each chapter. All right. So I'm going to show you how you use this, but once you've downloaded them, you want to unzip them right away. Right. You want to unzip this folder. So could you click on the first one? Well, you can't do like a batch unzip. It's got to be one at a time. So right click on that and go to extract all. All right. And then just extract. You don't need to change any other thing. Just click on extract. All right. And then you can close this box here. So you notice that chapter 1, so you have the chapter 1 zip folder, right? And you also have the chapter 1 actual, the folder for the files you need. No, don't do that. Don't do that. You don't want to change anything. Yeah, don't change anything, because if you do that, QuickBooks is just going to go totally crazy. This has happened to us in the past. So yeah, you don't need to make any of those changes. Just extract the files. Just leave it exactly how the file names appear, right? I think if you need to change the file names, that will come out at a point. So yeah, don't change the file names. All right. So you do the same thing for each of the chapters, right? You extract the files. Once it extracts, just leave it right there. So you're going to have a duplicate folder. That's what I meant to say, a duplicate folder. And then I'll show you now in a few minutes how we're going to use those files in QuickBooks. All right, so download those files, extract the files, the folders, and just leave everything there on your desktop or wherever you have your files saved. Yeah, you can just finish that up. You can click on extract. And you're going to see that now you have chapter 1, chapter 2. The folders have been extracted. That's what you want for all the chapters, okay? All right, let's go back to Canvas. We'll come back to this in a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to modules, the modules link. So once you have your download, you have your QuickBooks, and you have your, your files. So let's go down to let's switch over to your QuickBooks, Andrew. Your actual QuickBooks. So just double. Okay, so it's going to open up. It's going to open up this way. Once you start, it's there's really nothing there. It's blank, right? So generally, when you want to start, right? So QuickBooks has all those folders that we downloaded. They have like sample, like example company information. Like just sample companies, just dummy company information, right? We're going to use that. They're not like, you don't want to use them in the real world. They're just examples. Most of it's like using a template, right? So what you want to do, so Andrew, here's the example using the first chapter 1 folder you just extracted, right? So you want to use that folder for your chapter 1. You go to open or restore existing company. No, right there. You see those 3 buttons at the bottom left? Yeah, open or restore, right there, yeah. Okay, then you want to go to restore a backup copy. No, you're going too fast. Okay, you're taking down the steps. So you go to restore a backup copy. The second option, okay, and then you click next. All right, it's a local backup because it's on your computer. It's not an online file. It's right there on your computer. So you select local backup, then click next. All right, so now you want to go look for where your folder is, and now you notice that the only folders you see, right, are those 2 folders you extracted. Once you extract all the others, they're going to show up here. But for now, we're just going with the chapter 1 example, chapter 2. But once you've done that, they're all going to be here, right? So don't be so worried about where are my folders, where's everything. The zip files, the zip folders are not going to show up here. You're only going to see the extract. So if you forget to extract, if you haven't extracted anything at all, nothing is going to show up here. So make sure you, after you download all the folders, the starter files, you unzip them. Now you're going to see everything here. So you just click on chapter 1. If you're working on chapter 1, click on the chapter 1 starter.
Do you mind if I do that? Do you mind if I go through that one more time? Just so that
through
myself, just open.
Well, you have this recording, right? Remember the email you sent to that person?
Okay.
So, yep, restore a backup copy. Local backup. Yes. Then you look for the folder. So your folder is called QB. You find the folder where you put all those different, starter files. And now if you're working on chapter 1, you're going to see it right there. So you double click that to open it up. And now you're going to see this chapter 1 starter. So you select that and click open. Okay, remember, don't change any file names. Just leave everything exactly how it is. Okay? Then click next. All right. So now you're going to go back to that folder, that chapter 1 folder, because now it needs you to save like a working file. So go back to the folder, your QB folder or QC folder. All right, make sure you go back to that folder and go back into the chapter 1 starter folder, right? Go back to where that chapter is. So all the files for every chapter should be in the chapter folder. That's what we're trying to, it keeps you organized. If you just save files anywhere on your computer, it's going to be pretty hard to find your stuff. All right. All right. So just hit. You're going too fast, Andrew.
Sorry.
Okay. Well, once you get to that point, you just hit save, and then you move on to the next step. You can always back up in the video and and then you just give it a second. When QuickBooks is working, don't stop for 1 second, Andrew. When QuickBooks is working, try not to just keep banging on your mouse, click, 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 click. It takes a while to process all the information, right? So just wait. I know we like things being done hurry up, click, click, click. Just give it a second, wait. It's going to complete the process, and then you can continue, right? So it says QuickBooks needs to update your company file. The company file is this file that we just opened up. But that's what kind of stuff we're going to use. So just say yes. Do you want to continue? Yes. So again, once it's doing all this, just give it a second, let it do whatever it does. All right, so it tells you here, it kind of gives you a warning, right? You're opening QuickBooks Desktop sample. Use the sample to practice, not for an actual company file, right? And it has this thing about a future date. So it uses a future date. All right. So 12/15/2022. You're going to see that when you start using it, all the data like in the future. I don't know why they do that, but that's how they do it. So it's not a big deal. All right. So click OK. All right. All right, so just wait, just give it a couple moments to set itself up. It's going to open up the whole interface for you. There's a whole lot of windows that are going to open up. All right, every time you see any of these pop-ups, you want to just, read it. You may not have to do anything, but you just maybe want to be aware of, okay, this is just information, right? So you could just click continue, or X out of, continue. All right. And then more windows are going to pop up there. We don't really need this accountant center right now, so you can just X out of this accountant center. Yep, it's okay. Okay. So a whole lot of activities you're going to be, covering right here all over this. This is the home page, right? This is the home page. You've got several. You've got like 4, should I say, sections. So to make this easier for you to see, Andrew, if you move your mouse to the top left where you have the search button, so just before the search button to the right, you see that left pointing arrow? Right there. So click that. That's going to hide that left side navigation. So now you can see the whole interface. You can see the vendors, the customers, employees. You can see company to your right. They're kind of like in categories, right? So all the stuff for vendors is categorized up top there. The middle section, all the different activities for customers. Then at the bottom, employees. To the top right or the right side, you have the company, all the activities are categorized there. Then you have banking. So it's kind of like divided into like 5 sections: vendors, customers, employees, banking, company. All right. So now if you open up the navigation again to the top left, now you're going to see that it's easy. Now everything kind of shows up. So you have to like minimize it first and then get all the 5 sections to show up, and then you can open it back up. All right. So all across the top, the menu bar where you have file, edit, view, list, Andrew. Yeah, if you click any of those options here, click on file, there's a lot of options that go drop down. You go to edit, options. So you're going to be discovering a whole lot of different activities that you can complete in QuickBooks. It's a whole lot of discovery, right? So let's switch back to, let's look at the assignment just to give you a sense of, how your assignments are and, how you're going to be, should I say, learning QuickBooks. All right. So if you see, you're going to see assignment 1. Now, like I said, for the first week, you have kind of a shorter assignment. So if you click on lesson 1, do this first, always go to the do this first. So if you go to do this first, all right, so it gives you some information there, things that you need to do or prepare yourself to do before you start the assignment. Because you don't want to just start an assignment if you have information that you're going to be aware of or stuff you've got to do before the assignment. Make sure you go through everything, okay? So right here it just tells you if you haven't set up your QuickBooks, you need to do that. Do the installation, watch the videos. And then it says, especially now in step 3 says complete the activities in chapter 1 QuickBooks tour. That's in the book, chapter 1. And you watch the instructional videos right there. So you do all that stuff, you know, getting yourself ready for the assignment. Okay? All right, let's click on next. Okay, so the assignments, right? The assignments are strictly quizzes, right? There's not a lot of, I think you might have one kind of like a project where you take screenshots, but for the most part, the assignments are quizzes. And for this first week, well, week and a half, well, a half week actually, because what we do today is going to be due on Sunday. So you have 20 questions. So we only have chapter 1. We're going to work on chapter 1 between now and Sunday. Now, for the next 5-6 weeks after that, we're going to cover 2 chapters every week. At least that way we can get through maybe like 9 or 10 chapters at the end of the course, right? So for this first assignment, you're only dealing with chapter 1, the lesson. So let's click on take the quiz. Now, because that's how you do it, where you click on take the quiz, and then you can look at the questions, and then you can go to the book, go to QuickBooks, right? And, you know, and basically solve the, you know, answer the question by, you have to refer to QuickBooks. You have to refer to the book. Okay, look at this first question, for example. It says the QuickBooks working file in which you can enter accounting data and transactions is the blank file. Now, it tells you right here, up top, Andrew, the kind of instructions up the top of this question. It says the quiz assignment. If you scroll up a little bit, yeah, right there. So it gives you the instructions for the quiz. It says if you've not already done so, make sure to complete lesson 1 exercises, right, in the book. Now, this quiz assignment is based on chapter 1, quick tour, navigation and settings. So you have to, it's recommended that you complete lesson 1. So lesson 1 in the book has all the exercises where you open up the book, you go to QuickBooks, you click this button, you go through these modules, you click the other button, you go through these modules, you click the other button. So they have all these exercises that you do in each chapter, right? Once you go through those exercises, then you're more familiar with what is required. When you're answering the questions, right, you can just answer the questions without much difficulty. You don't want to just answer the questions and just guess what the question is, right? I mean, I'm guessing, or you know, that we want to learn this software. So you see a question like this, before you select an answer, go to the chapter, go through the chapter. I mean, find the question in the chapter or find the answer in the chapter, right? Go through the exercises in the chapter. Get yourself familiar with, what the chapter is about. Do the exercises. When you come to the questions, you're more comfortable answering the questions without a problem. So this kind of a question, for example, well, if you guess, you might guess wrong. So don't guess. You want to be sure you're learning. Okay, you're learning the material. And then you know what the answers are and you put the answer there. So right now, without doing anything, in much detail, I'm going to throw the question to Dennis. Dennis, what's the answer to this question?
QBB.
QBB, like the second one?
Correct.
Okay, well, Andrew, do you agree with that? Well, don't click it because that's going to be on you, Andrew. That's going to be your quiz. But you agree with that? Andrew?
I'm sorry?
Do you agree with that? That's the answer? Then it says
Um,
it's QBB.
I'm not sure. I need to go through the navigation and settings. I need
Exactly. Yeah,
good activities in the book to navigate the QuickBooks platform and
that's right.
find out what the correct answer is.
All right. So that's how the questions are. If you go to the next question, question 2. Yeah, same thing. You're going to see, it says, to change a company name in QuickBooks, go to My Shortcuts on the navigation bar, then select what? Now, with that kind of a question, you want to be sure you go back to QuickBooks, go to the shortcuts in QuickBooks, go to the navigation bar, right? Be absolutely sure that you're, doing the actual activity, and then you're going to find the answer there. Right? So and that's what happens when you go through the lessons, right? The answer will come to you naturally because you have completed the exercises there, the lessons there, right? Lindsay, what do you think? How does these questions look? Do they look like things that you can find the answers to? Or should we ask you to write like papers and papers and papers on QuickBooks?
It's probably better.
Lindsay, are you there? Oh, just go ahead.
It's probably better to get active experience with the platform rather than just copy and pasting or reciting the instructions. Actually going into the platform, following the exercises within the chapters of the textbook, familiarizing yourself with all of the different tabs, and then selecting the correct answer.
Exactly.
Professor, were you calling on me? The phone was cutting out.
No, I'm just kind of like asking generally, what you guys think about the format of the questions. There's always a temptation to just say, I'm just going to guess. I mean, this is a one-time quiz. Say it again.
Are you able to have QuickBooks open and do it out on QuickBooks itself? Is that what you're trying to say? Like, can we have the book open and QuickBooks open while we're doing the quiz, or we're not supposed to do that?
No, you can. No, you should absolutely. I mean, I encourage you to do that. You should do that, right?
So it's open book.
You should do that.
QuickBooks.
Open book, open QuickBooks, open everything, right? Allow yourself to, when you see the question, go and discover the answer. It's like a learning experience. But you don't just want to guess. Some students just like, I'm not gonna go to any. I can just guess what the answer is and get all the assignments done in like 5 minutes. I mean, why? And then you end up with a bad grade. So because it's open book and open QuickBooks, it's a one-time quiz. There's no retake. So you got to spend you have the whole week or, as much time as you're given. There is no time limit on the assignment. It only expires after the deadline, right? So you can take as much time, answering question 1 and 2 and 3 and go through everything carefully. That's how you're going to learn QuickBooks. And then, you can easily answer the questions. All right. So don't need to be intimidated by the questions. Just go to QuickBooks, go to the lessons. All right. Now let me show you, because I don't think Andrew has it. Let me show you what the book looks like. I'm going to switch to my screen now. I'll show you what this book looks like. So it's pretty user friendly. There's a lot of screenshots and stuff. So just give me 1 second. All right, so let me share my screen. I'll take it from Andrew now. Oh, are you able to see this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
So So let me show you what, the book looks like, chapter 1, chapter 2. All right, so that's chapter 1. It always presents you with a sort of like a storyline. You always have this Mr. Castle, running the company, asking you for all kinds of, as an employee, you got to do this and do that in the company, right? It stays right here. Stop by my office this afternoon. Like a real world scenario. So Mr. Castle is always asking his employees to do all kinds of stuff, right? And they're supposed to use QuickBooks to get it done, right? So right here it says, we like to keep our employees happy. One way to do that is to pay them the right amount at the right time. So Rock Castle must keep track of the time worked by its employees, the amounts owed to the employees, and the wages. So Mr. Castle wants to solve these problems. He's got to pay his employees. He's got to be able to know what the amount is, and is it owing an employee or something or whatever it is, right? So it's in that kind of story format. All right. So when you get into it, you can see right here the installation of QuickBooks. It walks you through everything you got to do. And then you keep going down here. So if you want to start QuickBooks, it tells you what to do. You open the QuickBooks software, you click, QuickBooks, it tells you all that information. Now, so here's a bonus tip on the first question, right? Here's what it says. So QuickBooks uses several different types of files. 2 types of files you'll be using throughout this book. The QBW file, that's the QuickBooks working file. You can enter accounting data and transactions. And the QBB file, that's the backup file, right? So now, if you don't read this information and you don't go through this, go through the book, you're not going to know what the answer is, and you might just guess it wrong. So you want to take your time and go through the chapter, right? And it walks you through step by step what to do. Right, all this part here about restoring starter files, that's the example we did with Andrew. When you unzip your folders and then you open up the backup files. Those are the files you use to do the work. All right, so on to the chapter now. Now it tells you if you want to restore a starter file, here's what to do. And we already did that, right? So you can rewatch the recording, but the steps here are the same steps we just completed. All right. And you can see the screenshots, right? So just in, Andrew, you were writing it down. Well, here are the screenshots. Step 1, what it has up here, right? Step 1, open the company window. That's right here. So the screenshots help you, to move along. Step 1, Step 2, restore a backup copy. Step 3, click next. Step 4, local backup. Step 5, click next. Step 6, that's your file where you have it saved, right? Remember, don't change any file names or anything. So, it has a lot of screenshots to help you, step 1, step 2, step 3, so you can follow that. And we saw this already, right? You're opening a QuickBooks desktop sample file. All right. So now it tells you to do some activities, right? For example, right here, it says now you're going to change your company name. So these are things that you should do, right? You want to go through this process here. It says to change a company name in QuickBooks, complete the following. So for my shortcuts, so Andrew, let's just do this 5 steps here, right? Just this 5, just to get a sense of it. So, so I'm going to, well, since you can see this, maybe you can take a screenshot of this part, or I'll just kind of tell you what to do. But I want us to just do this first 5 steps. And then, you see the screenshots there, right? Step 1 is over here. Step 2, you go over here. Step 3, you go over here. You go over here. So it's easy to to find, what they're telling you to do in QuickBooks. All right. So Andrew, let's go back to your screen, please, and then we'll just do this 5 steps, just to give everyone a sense of, how it can be done. Okay, so you got the screenshot. All right, so just tell us what you're doing now so we can follow along.
So I took a screenshot of the Zoom session showing these 5 steps. And the first step says, from my shortcuts on the navigation bar, select my company. So I'm opening up the QuickBooks platform, and from the navigation bar, select my company.
So that's the navigation to your left, right there.
This is the navigation bar.
Yes.
And
So
then,
right there, my company. There you go.
so that's step 1. Step 2 says, when the My Company window appears, select Edit.
No, not there. Look at the screenshots, Andrew. The screenshots for where the Edit button is.
Okay, I
Right
see.
there. Yeah. Like a little pencil.
Right here.
Yes.
Step 3 says, when the company information window appears, update the company name field to your name, Chapter 1, Rock Castle Construction. So now I'm going into the company name field and I'm populating it with my name. Chapter 1, Rock Castle Construction. Step number 4 says select OK to close the company information window. So I'm selecting OK here within the company information. And now it's updated. And the final step 5 is close the My Company window. So over here in the top right-hand corner, after I've edited this information, changed my name here, selecting OK, I'm closing this window.
All right. Something else, Andrew. So you see that activation notice. Could you go back to my company? Yeah, so all the way to the right-hand side, you see it says 26 days left. So I think there's got to be some further registration you're supposed to do.
Okay.
So let's look at that, because obviously we need more than 26 days, right?
Yes, we need at least 42.
Yeah. So let's see what is asking you to do there.
This is a student trial edition. After registering, this product will expire in 160 days.
So I guess you just click on activate. And then maybe, okay, so you got to, all right, so maybe you can do this later, because you might have to put some personal information there, but I guess once you're done with that, then it gives you that 160-day extension, right?
Okay.
So you can do that part later. But I just thought I'll mention it
I appreciate
so you don't, so it doesn't expire on you. You're like, what? I can't even get into QuickBooks anymore. So okay, so let's go back to Canvas and let's look at the other part of the assignment. That's the discussion and participation. So this is how assignments are done. Like we said, you got to go through the chapter, go through the exercises, and then it'll be easier to answer the questions. Okay, so let's click on modules, or I think we click on modules, and we go back to the assignment. All right, so the assignment 1 is the first part where you have the quizzes. Like I said, for this first assignment, you're only dealing with chapter 1 because we had all the setup and all that stuff. So chapter 1 is, but going from next week, we're going to deal with 2 chapters every week because it's a very short, period for this semester. Okay, let's click on chapter 1 discussion. All right. So the way the discussions are set up, you guys might be familiar with this. It asks you a bunch of questions. You introduce yourself for this first week. Step 3, step 2 says mention 3 key points, about the course. Step 3, you watch the YouTube video, then you respond to the prompts below. That's the YouTube video right there. Now, very critical. You see at the bottom there, Andrew, it says note, review the discussion guidelines. Okay, so let's open that up because that is a big deal. Okay, so the critical part of this guidelines, you see them where you have very important, right? Very important. You see that middle section? Yeah, you can highlight that line. Yeah, just right there. Now it tells you there the requirement is you need 3 posts on 3 different days. So when you go to the discussion, you respond to the discussion, you respond to all the prompts, and then you've got to respond to your classmates. It says it there, step 1 and step 2. So the first one, initial response to the discussion topic. The second part is you respond to your classmates, at least 2 classmates. So in all, the minimum requirement is for you to respond 3 times, 3 different days. That's how you get your credit for participation for the week. It's very important because the whole idea is to keep you engaged in the course with your classmates. We don't want you to just never log back into Canvas. You just disappear, I do my assignment and I don't have to deal with anybody. That's not how it runs. We want to keep an engaged class because you might have a question for your, when you respond to the discussions, you might, say something that's going to help somebody else, stuff like that, right? So we want to keep you engaged with the course, right? So you don't just want to, come here on Monday and post 3 times and you're like, that's it, I'm done. No, it's got to be 3 different times all through the week, 3 different days. So, for example, you can post on Wednesday, then post on Thursday, then post on Friday. 3 different days. It shows us that you're coming back and being a part of the whole conversation, right? This is 40% of your final grade. It is absolutely critical that you are aware of this and you do it. If you do only the assignments, well, that's 40%. If you do only the assignments and not the discussion participation, you actually are not going to pass the course. I mean, if you drop 40% of your grades, how are you going to pass the course, right? So that's very important for us to not forget. Andrew, you're moving around. Okay, you're going back to the, yep, excellent. back to the grading in the syllabus, exactly. So 40% is your participation, and you get the 40% by being a part of the discussions every week. You're going to look at the deadline, and 3 times before the deadline, 3 different days before the deadline, you've got to do that. Right? I mean, I can't emphasize that enough, because a lot of students, well, not a lot of students, but some students just forget. They forget, or they just feel like, I can just post it at any time I feel like. Right? So this guidelines are there for you guys. Please, 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 starting from today. This week is a short week, right? We start today. The assignments expire on Sunday. So starting today, you want to start with your first post, then maybe on Thursday, Friday, 3 different days. Before Sunday, you want to get your 100% for the week. Again, this first week is a very short week. This first assignment must be done by Sunday. Going from next week, it's always going to be Sunday to Sunday, right? So you get your assignment on Sunday, deadline is the next Sunday. So you have a full week to do your assignments. So that's why this week is short for the first assignment. From next week, it's going to be Sunday to Sunday. And there's going to be 2 chapters that we're going to cover every week, right? So I just want to emphasize that please, please pay attention to all those instructions there, right? You don't want to drop any points. I mean, most of you are about to graduate, right? So you don't need any problems right now, okay? So I don't know. That's about what I have. Let me know if you guys have questions. I'm sure you guys have questions, things you're not sure about, things you want to clarify. Dennis, go ahead.
So you said Sunday, but it looks like it's Saturday at 11:59. So if it's Sunday at 12:01 a.m., is it late?
Okay, give me 1 second here. Let me fix that. All right, so that's for discussions. Okay, yeah, let me fix that. So everything's going to be on Sunday. So let me edit that. All right, so this is going to be March 28th for the discussions. And for the assignment, it's going to be the same thing. All right, so if you refresh the page, I think you should see that if you refresh the page, you should see that it has changed. They both have the same due date on Sunday. All right, so March 28th, so Sunday. So from next week, it's going to be Sunday to Sunday. So you have a full week. But for this week, very short week, you have just one assignment, just one chapter, chapter 1. And then we'll take it up to chapter 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, and we till the end of the course. All right, I see that Tracy joined.
Yes, hi. Sorry I'm late. I got stuck on an assignment.
So Tracy, we agreed that anyone who was late was going to pay a fine. We kind of agreed that before we started.
I'll be taking a collection for that. Show me where to itemize.
So we'll buy some. So we'll order some kind of virtual pizza, virtual party, right? All right. So you have questions, Tracy? Everything is recorded. So,
good.
But go ahead.
I'll watch the recording, but I don't know. I downloaded the QuickBooks, but I can't seem to download any of the files.
So Andrew is going to show you where those files are. Can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
So you go to the Getting Started, and right there, the bottom link, that link there.
Yeah. So when I
You see the
do
link there at the
that,
bottom?
yeah,
It brings you to this page.
yes.
The top one
So-
didn't work, but the bottom one will bring you to this
Yeah.
page here.
I got to that page and I downloaded them, but when I opened them, they told me, I forget the message they gave me. I don't know, it just, they wouldn't, nothing would open. They were zipped. It said I was trying to open a backup file, a company backup file.
So,
said-
Okay, so Tracy, just for time's sake, we went through everything. Trust me, watch the whole class, the whole Zoom recording. Everything, we explained everything, walked through everything. It's just as easy as pie, trust me.
Okay,
And if you have any questions, just let me know, but it's not very complicated at all.
okay. Were they maybe not just open before, or are they open now?
Well, so they have to be unzipped. So you notice now that Andrew has chapter 1 starter and chapter 1 starter. So there's a zip folder. That zip folder has to be unzipped
Okay,
because QuickBooks is not able to work with a zip folder. You know, it's still locked up. The
right.
files are locked up. So once you unzip the files, the zip folders, when you go into QuickBooks, now you can access those files very, easily. So that's probably what the problem was. You're trying to
Okay.
work with a zip folder, and you hadn't unzipped, everything in there.
Makes sense.
So once you do that, then you can see the files and all that. Yeah.
Okay, and will it go through setting up a company? Will that be our first task?
Say it again.
Setting up a company in QuickBooks, will that be the first task, or?
So your first task is how do I say this? Your first task is to look at the assignment. All right.
Mhm.
The assignment is usually just quizzes. So for this first assignment, it's a 20-question quiz, like multiple choice quiz, right?
Mhm.
So, but, when you hear it's a quiz, it sounds tempting, like, oh, I can just select all the answers and I'll be done in 5 minutes, Well, there's a risk there because you want to be sure that you go back to the chapter, you go back to, the book and go through the exercises. You don't want to be guessing the answer, right? You want to be sure that, okay, like for example, if you click on resume quiz, and let me show you one of the questions, like click on question 4, and your question, you can just go forward. All right, so something like this here, or this one. All right, so right here it says profit and loss statement. Well, how do you know what the answer is here, right? Is it the first one, or the second one, or the third one? But you see, the instruction up top tells you to go through chapter 1, the quick tour, navigation, and settings, complete the lesson 1 exercises, because you have all these exercises with, very good screenshots. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to learn QuickBooks. So as you learn QuickBooks, it's open book. I think Dennis asked the question, can we have open book? If you open the book, open QuickBooks, open textbook, whatever, open the whole thing, right? Look at the question, go and figure out the answer, come back to the question. It's like it's like your boss gives you a task at the office, right? You're like, hey, I need you to do this, okay? And you go to look through your files or something. That's how it is.
Okay.
So the assignment will guide you on what you're looking for, but basically you want to complete the lessons in each chapter, right? And then you can do the quizzes. So this quiz is just chapter 1 because it's just a short week. It's from now till Sunday, but after Sunday, you have a whole week to do the assignments, and you're going to have two chapters every week because it's a very short semester, right? So you got chapter 2 and 3 next week. But don't worry about that right now. Right now, we're just going to deal with chapter 1, which, Sunday is the deadline. and then you want to be a part of the participation discussions, right? That's how you get your credit and your grades.
Do we have to answer all the questions in the discussion or just some of them?
What do you mean?
Well, there's a list of 4 different, oh, you have to do each thing. Okay. Respond to.
Yeah,
each-
yeah, exactly. You respond to each of the prompts,
Okay,
and you got to go by the days, and like we said. All right.
got it. Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and my contact information is there on the syllabus. Like I said earlier, you guys feel free to reach out to me. We don't have Zoom meetings during the course. It's an online course, but at any time, if you have some difficulty, just let me know. I'm right here, and we'll get through this.
Sounds good.
All right, Lindsay, you have any questions? Joseph, anybody else? Questions?
Nope, I'm good. Thank
No.
you.
All right. Dennis, all set?
I'm fine.
All right. Okay, so if you have no questions, that's all we got. I'm going to save the recording, and when you go to modules, you're going to see a link there for the recording, so you can always play it back. It's obviously very useful for the whole course, so feel free to look at everything that we talked about there and reach out to me at any time. Okay? So enjoy the course, and I look forward to talking to you guys throughout this course.
Very good.
Great, thank you.
Okay, well, can you believe it? We actually ended exactly at 4 o'clock. Well, 3:59. Okay, talk to you later.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.